Hello, this is session 4-2, Math and How to Write a Letter in the course Introduction to Desktop Publishing. Today we're going to learn about some more of the special lessons. There are several types of special lessons usually in book 2 of a primer, so we're going to learn more today. I'd like to start with a Bible verse and a prayer. The Bible verse is Psalm 91, verse 2, Contemporary English Version. Then you will say to the Lord, you are my fortress, my place of safety. You are my God, and I trust you. Father, we're so very grateful to you. We thank you that you are faithful. You do not change. You're holy. You're always holy. You always do what's best for us, even if we do not see it at the time. Thank you that we can trust you. We trust you with our lives. We trust you with our families. And we know you answer prayers. We trust you to answer our prayers and to do what's best. Help us to learn and help us to grow more Christ-like. And I pray in Jesus' name, amen. So I want to share the screen, and we're going to learn more about the special lessons about arithmetic and the special lesson about teaching students how to write a letter. I'm going to share the screen. First, we're going to go to a PDF and we'll see different parts of the math lesson and some other, the how to write a letter lesson and some other subjects. So this is a mathematics or an arithmetic lesson. It has 2 parts, and you could add more pages if you want to your arithmetic or math lesson. You could add several pages on measures, measuring, metric measures, weights and measures, liquid measures, and solid measures. So we'll show you that also in a minute. So the 2 parts of this lesson, on the left side on lesson 33A, we're teaching the numbers and then the word for that number. And you don't have to fill everything out completely. You'll notice they went through 1 through 20 and then 21 through 25. Then they jumped to lesson 30, the number 30. Did a couple of those, then they jumped to the number 40 and just went by tens until they got to 100, 105, 110, etc. Then they're just showing samples of the higher numbers and the words for that numbers. And in the second part of the arithmetic or math lesson, lesson 33B, we're showing students how to write a mathematics problem and how to solve it. They may not know how to do it on paper. They probably know how to do it in their head. They've probably done math most of their life. But we're showing them the different symbols. Let me enlarge this. We had trouble with enlarging before. So we're showing different symbols. This is addition, the symbol for addition, and the equals symbol. So this is how you could write a problem like this, but we're giving the answer here just to show the student what they would do. And you can write a mathematics problem this way. This would be their own separate little text boxes that you could align and you could copy and paste. So this is subtraction, the symbol for subtraction. These mathematical examples have the answer there just to show the student. Go down a little bit. Whoops. I forget it does that. Okay, and now the student has some exercises. These are some math problems for the student to actually work and to write in the answers in the primer. Go down a little bit. There's some exercises in subtracting for the student to work these problems. And this is showing multiplication, the symbol for multiplication, the equal symbol. Some examples of problems and with the answers. And then there's some problems for the student to work. So, and we will also show you division and how to make the division symbol in one of our sections. Let's go to the next page, a couple of pages here. This is a letter. I'm going to make it smaller again. Okay, this is lesson 34, 34A and 34B. Teach the student how to write a letter, how to address an envelope. Now, your envelope in your country, the address, the return address might be on the back of an envelope. So you might show how to fill out the back of an envelope. This is the front of an envelope, the little place for a stamp. We could fill that out with even a little photograph if we wanted to. So the student is writing a letter. This looks like they're talking about Jesus and God. And then someone is answering the letter. And you can see this is who is writing the letter, and this is who he's writing the letter to, the different sections. But you would fill this out in the normal way that it's done in your country, in your language. So there's the two parts. A letter, and they're receiving we're pretending they're receiving an answer to their letter. Let's go back to the math lesson just for a minute. I said that you could add pages to teach weights and measurements. You could even draw a little ruler to show inches and centimeters or something, not life size, but just a sample. And you could also put a math lesson, some exercises in a workbook, and add your weights and measures lesson in the workbook. I'm going to show you a sample of that. So this is a sample page, 2 pages from a workbook lesson. They've given it lesson 33C and 33D. So we have a picture that shows the different metric words. And down here, there's some questions for the students to answer. It's a workbook. And over here, we're showing some samples of liquid measurements in the words. And this is an exercise for the student. And these are solid measurements, just a sample of what the sizes would be relatively, just to help the student to learn about measurements. And this is an exercise for the student. So we can close down these 2 PDFs, and we'll go to Microsoft Word again. You can do this in Publisher. It's just practically the same. I want to insert a small text box, and we're going to start showing how to do a mathematics problem. Insert the text box, couldn't find it. I want to take out all the text inside. I want to go to shape fill. We don't want any fill. And I don't want any outline. We'll remember this as a text box. We don't want an outline. I'm going to make it smaller this way and longer this way. So we're going to type a math problem, and it should be lined up on the right. We can do that at the beginning, or we can do that after we're finished typing. So let's say it's 5. Oh, it's got line spacing and it's got paragraph spacing. Let's change that. I went back to the home page, the home tab, go to paragraph. You see he's putting spacing after my line because he's pretending that's a paragraph. We don't like that. The rest of it's okay. 5 plus 6. And we don't need to put the answer. We could put the answer. We need to put underlining here, so the student will realize that that's the end of the problem. And this is the answer here. Or we could take the answer out. So I'm going to copy that. I hope it's large enough for you to see. Let's just enlarge it. Let's change it to Arial and enlarge it some. Probably in your lesson, it won't be very large. fonts so that you'll have room for many more problems, many more these little text boxes. Uh-oh, wrong thing. Copy, paste. That I already copied, but okay, you could put in a whole row of these. And you know how to align them. Don't really need to show that. Align top. You could distribute them under the align, distribute horizontally. Great. And also you could change this operator here, change it to a minus. Just a dash. You could even put spaces if you want to. Well, that's really not necessary. I think I will. That would make it more attractive. And this would be an X for multiplication. I'm going to, this would be strange because it would be negative. So let's change that. 7 minus 6, minus 4. How about that? You should probably usually put the larger number at the top. That would be more logical. So I'm going to copy, well, I'm going to paste. I've already copied. Paste, problem. Let's put in the number 30 here. And let's say this is a division problem. And here I'm going to type in the operator for division. And that's an ASCII code, easy to get, an ASCII code. I'm going to hold down the alternate key. And on the numeric keypad, I'm going to type 0. And I forget what it is. There it is. It was 0247. So that's one way to type a division problem. And we'll show you another way. I'm just going to paste. I have a, just to get a text box, we'll take this out. Now let's line it up on the left. Control L. And what you can do, excuse me, is type a line. Whoops. Just insert a line. I'm going to insert, I'm not going to put the line in that way. So I inserted, or I typed the ending parentheses, ending parentheses. We'll put a line on top just by drawing a line. That would be great. Now we're going to put the first part of the division problem up here. I'm not smart enough to remember all the terms. We'll type the 30 here. We want the student to answer it. We're not going to give them the answer. I'm going to just draw a line. Go to draw or go to insert. Insert a shape. Insert a line. Draw it pretty close to here. I'm going to hold the shift button down to make sure it's straight. It's need to change it to black. We need to change the weight. It was quite small. We don't need it to be too large. That might be kind of good. I'm going to move it over a little bit. We need to move it down. Whoops. Just trying to select the line. So that was kind of difficult. I know what I can do. I'm going to do Control Z a couple of times. That gives me the line. Move it down, move it over to the left a little bit. Looks pretty good. It's not exactly perfect, but you could work on it. What you could do is you could go to Layout, to Selection pane. And I need to move my picture. I don't know if that will work. This says over on the selection pane, it says straight connector. I hold the Control key down and type that, and it's going to select it for me. I'm going to move it down some more. Maybe that might be too much. I'm going to close the selection pane. But that's the way, if you're finding it hard to select something, open the selection pane, Control, select what you want. Let's make it longer. I'm holding the Shift key down, making it a little longer. close the selection pane, deselect. That looks pretty good. There's different things you could do, but this looks pretty good. Now let's go to the how to write a letter lesson. We've got some letters in here. This is in French. It's from Burkina Faso. And we're going to draw an envelope here. I can move my picture back. I think on your video, the picture will be in the same place every time. It was just convenient for me to move it. So we're going to insert a rectangle, insert a shape, insert a rectangle. It's going to have fill in the wrong kind of border, but then we'll fix it. Kind of the shape of an envelope. What do you think? Shape fill, we don't want any fill. The shape outline, we want it to be black. That's great. I'm going to deselect. Now I'm going to insert a little square or a little rectangle for a stamp. This is draw a shape or insert a shape. You know, we could just copy this one. It's already been fixed. I'm just inserting a rectangle. We don't really want a blue filling. I'm changing it here. We can put in a picture. We can put in a gradient. We can put in a texture. Let's just put in this bubble texture. That's great. And we do like the outline around it. It shows it's a stamp. You could insert a little picture there. I don't have a picture ready, but maybe a picture that's common on your stamps in your country. Now we want to insert some text boxes. Insert a text box. I'm going to move it down here. We don't want any fill. We don't want these words. I'll leave the outline on there for right now so you'll see. We don't want to fill on it. I'm going to shape, fill, no fill. Great. And you would type in, or let's just copy. Well, it's not who. This is who it's from. So let's copy over here. That was the next section of the letter writing lesson. Need to make it a little longer. That looks great. Let's copy this text box and paste. Just put it right here. Now this is who it's to, and this bit should be who it's to. Maybe I'll have this backwards because some countries do their envelope and who it's from and who it's to in different ways. So we'll copy this. So I just got it backwards. Great. It's okay because we already have this part filled out. Okay, this is who it's from and this is who it's to. You could copy all this and paste it on the next page and just switch the different addresses. But let's take the outline, the border off of these two text boxes. Shape, format, shape outline, no outline. So that looks great. That looks like regular envelope. Sorry, I got mixed up about which was which, but you'll figure it out. And you know in your own language, in your own country, how you write a letter, so you'll be able to teach. That looks really beautiful. And I'm not going to do the next one on the next page, but you would do an envelope on the next page. Let me show you how to, I'll just copy this rectangle. And I will show this. This would be how to show the back of an envelope, if that's your custom in your country. We inserted a rectangle. We're going to insert a line, a shape. We're going to not, I'm going to guess where the center of this is, or we'll figure it out in a minute. I'm going to draw a slanted line that's about the center. Have to make it black and go to the weight. I think it's pretty good weight, but okay. I'm just going to copy this and paste it. move it over here. And we can rotate that. Go to shape format, rotate. I'm not exactly sure how, but we'll figure it out. Nah, let's just, I'll just grab it and rotate it. In some instances, you can just grab it and rotate it. And that may not be exactly the center, but that's how you would make it doesn't look exactly right, but it's pretty close. I'm just going to move it. See, you can grab the little selection point and move it. Rotate it a different way. Oh, it looks great. That would be the back of an envelope, and maybe your return address goes up here. So I was just demonstrating. So I'm going to close this down. That was so much fun. So remember, we demonstrated how to insert shapes, a rectangle for a stamp, inserted some text boxes for the addresses, and we did some math up here, some arithmetic. So I hope that you'll practice a lot. We're going to close this down. I don't need to save it. We don't want what we copied. We're going to stop sharing. That was a lot of fun, and I hope that you get a lot of practice, do your exercises, and you'll have fun. I'm enjoying it. So that's all for this session. Bye-bye.